Hey guys, welcome to an episode of Fangirls Assemble. It's us on a Sunday at 8 p.m.
We're
Eastern,
here.
the regular
Right
time.
at the right time. It's pretty weird.
It's weird.
It feels weird, but it's nice. It's comfortable. It's home. The
It's
collector's
home.
here. What is up? This is what's up. We're here, and it's exciting. Also, check out InStockTrades.com. That's what's up. Where you can get up to 50% off
Yeah.
your purchases, free shipping in the United States at $50. And I have to, right? We've
have
talked
to.
about this. I have to. And
Man.
I believe you can get both books we're talking about on there.
I
So
think
that's exciting.
I mean, if you choose to, you most certainly can.
Yeah, if that's something you want to do with
I
your
will let
money.
you all know though, because as you may see in the title of this video, that we are reviewing Nijigahara Holograph and Junji Ito's new book, Venus in the Blind Spot. Now, Nijigahara Holograph you can read for free on Kongsology Unlimited if you have a Kongsology Unlimited account. I would recommend you read it through there first
Oh,
to
yeah.
see if you even like it. Asano is an interesting manga writer, so sometimes knock it out of the park. Sometimes you're like, I don't know about this. And, that might be that for you. It might be that for us. You might hear about that.
You're
I
going to
call
hear
it
about some things today,
You might
for
hear
sure.
about some things. Man, speaking of in-stock trades, I was doing a quick look of what's coming out next week. Is there anything that you're jumping on?
Oh, hold
I
on.
see that there's a graphic novel for Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell?
It's manga. Yeah.
A manga for that?
I know. Yeah, the cover looks really good, so I'm pretty excited
I
about
love
that.
the book. And I've read 2 Rainbow Rowell books, which is Fangirl the novel, and then Pumpkinheads.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't even read Wayward Son. I mean, the things that people actually rave about. Speaking of Pumpkinheads, though, I went to a bookstore with my friend who is getting newer into comics. I've lent her a couple of things. I've lent her, like, Saga, The Banks.
Oh,
Is that what
yeah.
it's called?
Yeah, that's what's called.
Sunstone, and Laura Dean keeps breaking up with me. And she
nice.
looked at all of that. And we went to the bookstore together. Just kind of I recommended stuff. She picked up Mexican Gothic, which we all have to read eventually.
Yeah, we do.
And I recommended Pumpkinheads. I was like, you love fall, you love romances. There's a black female lead who's also bisexual. It's very cute. And she's like, picked up and she's like, oh my god, it was so good. I lent it to my cousin. If they made a movie of this, I was like, I felt so much pride.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I could spread that through there. So good.
It's a great one. It is perfect for this time. If you guys haven't checked it out, perfect. And it's a quick read. It's very enjoyable. Yeah, it'll make you feel good.
Especially right now, when we're all not to always be like, hey, remember we're in a pandemic,
but like remember.
And you can't go out to the pumpkin patch. I mean, you can. People from my hometown sure are. No masks. Don't care at all. But you can't go comfortably like you would normally do, right? And so Pumpkinheads is like having your pumpkin spice latte of the fall. I don't drink those, but I assume that's the same.
I don't either. We're like, nope.
I'm a salted caramel mocha girl myself.
I'm a white mocha, except I haven't had one all year. Because I'm like, I understand they're very bad for me, but that's my jam.
I like a white mocha, but with a shot of raspberry.
Oh, interesting. I like mine with the peppermint.
Well, I mean,
of course.
That's obviously the best one.
Yeah.
But I wait until December. Remember how this show's about books, and instead, what we do is we bring you here. I feel like this is my favorite murder of YouTube.
Yes, we have to start out. Yeah, for like the first 20 minutes, we just talk about nonsense, and then we get into it. We'll give everyone a timestamp later.
We won't.
No, we won't. We don't care.
Good evening, Bobby.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Hayden.
Hi, Hayden.
Hey, Chris. I feel like once I start clicking one, I have to make sure I catch what everybody's.
Yeah.
All right, so we're kicking off Spooktober. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep touching my hair like this because I've got this weird. What is that? What's this one Clark Kent motherfucker on my hair?
I have like 107 cowlicks, so I feel you. I have to just brush all my hair and make sure it stays. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, so we start out Spooktober with this is our manga weekend of Spooktober month.
Yeah.
And once again, I feel like we did not read enough books for this because I don't think this is
100%.
going to take the entire time. And we've done it. We keep doing it to ourselves.
I don't know why we keep doing. You know what? Chris, Hayden, Duck Collector, and Bobby, guys, if you think of stuff to ask us or you want us to talk about or stuff we should read, yeah, while we're talking, just think about that and please let us know. We'd love to chat with you because we won't have things to talk about. And then we'll talk about our hair again. And you guys don't want that. So let's start out with the positives. How shall we?
Yeah.
The new Ito book.
Oh gosh, Ito. Okay, so we're talking about this book right here. Do you have your cover on your?
Mine's also naked. I left my cover somewhere, and I'm not sure.
Right here. So okay, this is Venus in the Blind Spot by Junji Ito. Number one, we've definitely held this book up 3 times.
Yeah, like 100%.
2 months.
Yeah,
but let me just reiterate: if somebody's watching this for the first time, us doing this cover.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And it's soft.
Oh gosh,
it's so soft too.
And I hate
we like soft things.
I hate them. But
same,
I love this one.
Right? Yeah. It's crazy. That's very nice.
So, like a lot of Junji Ito books that have come out, it's a collection of his short stories. So you've got some newer ones and some older ones. You can usually tell what's old and new based on the art style. It's so interesting to see his growth, especially when you and I have read so much Ito.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I loved this.
Oh my gosh.
Because sometimes you pick up an Ito book and like maybe if it's like a short story book, maybe you'll get a 2 that are like, okay, those were just aggressively fine. While the rest are amazing. I loved every story in this.
I'm with you. That is the problem with anthologies, right? There's always some that you're like, okay. But no, usually into like the majority of his stuff. I do want to reiterate, by the way, this non-dust jacket hardcover is also wonderful and creepy.
Yeah, it's so nice.
And then there's the in pages. Oh yeah. Yeah, we did the same thing. And what's interesting is when you start this out, I haven't seen him do this in any of his books until now. There is a fold out. A fold out. Oh, how nice is that?
So sexy though. Like,
I mean, these are all like a good time.
And those are from the previous, because that's an older.
Oh, did you mean this one's sexy? Is that what you're talking about?
No. No, because these are pictures from like older books that are in color. But,
yeah, they're all, and there's several right at the front, which is really nice.
Because we've got some Uzumaki pictures in here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where all these are from.
I can't either. You know what's great though?
It starts off with color pages.
That's what I was going to say, and there's a lot. There's actually more throughout this than I thought there would be. Yeah. Maybe more than I've seen in his books.
Like, let me just actually hold this in the right way. But it's so nice.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed this. And once again, throughout this, he continues to make such interesting, horrific, like, stories. But it's so creative. And, I the last time we reviewed the Ito book, we didn't like the book, No Longer Human.
Oh.
And I think part of that is because that wasn't Ito's story. He's simply, adapting a story into a manga.
Right.
But that's why I think I didn't like it. Well, I think there's a lot of reasons.
Well.
But what's so good about this is that there's something so special about Ito's style. The man can make anything crazy. From, like... Well, I guess, before we jump in, maybe... Do you have a favorite one?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Because it is hard to pick.
It's so hard to pick. The chair one was...
Yeah, I was talking about the chair one. So,
I mean, they're all great, but I just flipped to the right to a chair page.
I think, even telling you about these stories a little bit is not going to spoil it for you, I think.
No, I think it'll just make you interested.
Because, the chair one is hilarious. Because there's this chair seller. And he's like,
a chair seller.
This will help you write. I pick out this chair for you.
Yeah, this woman comes in. Mm-hmm.
And they take the chair home and it starts like vibrating weird.
And moving?
Yeah. And the woman stops using the chair for a while because it's weirding her out. And the chair writes her a letter like, hey, I noticed you don't sit on me anymore. Is your husband trying to, like, you should, like, leave your husband. He's not as important to you as your work. You should sit in a chair more. And you're like, what? There's people in the chair.
Yeah, so, like, there's this guy who, like, crawls into the chair to grope these women and, like, do be creepy. Generally, just be... And the ending. Okay, so I won't ruin that. But, like, he's so good at, like, making you confused and upset and, like, totally, like, what is reality right now? And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, it continues. Like, it's still crazy and weird, but then you're satisfied with the ending. I feel like he's so consistent in that.
And how does he come up with these things? Just, like...
That's the biggest thing. Like,
I've never understood with anything he's ever done. I'm like, I do not know where he comes up with it. Like a chair. Who thinks...
It's unique and creepy every time. And what's weird? So I'm thinking about both books, comparing them a little bit in my head. There's something about Ito, even though it's all creepy and horrific and upsetting, it's like a warm hug. Is it just me? Like, I'm like...
I feel the same because I read both this and Nijigahara Holograph today, and I started with Nijigahara Holograph. That is a tongue twister. And we'll get to how we both felt about that book, but then I opened up this, and it's just fun, which it shouldn't be. There's bodies stuck together.
Oh, and that's the word, though, right?
But
it's so fun.
Yeah, it's just fun.
It's fun and crazy, and I know I'm going to get a story I've never remotely read before, and I'm going to have a good time. And so it's weird to say it's like a warm hug, but I mean, it's like going home to something I know I'm going to love. I picked this up, and I was like, no question, I'm getting it. I'm going to love it. Again, the only one we didn't love is No Longer Human for a reason, but it's also good.
And I think I had a lot of favorite stories, but I want to give a shout out to the one that was like maybe 2 or 3 pages.
Oh yeah,
this man. So they're looking for their father, and they find him, and he's under a pillar of the house.
Oh my gosh!
It's just like a it's like a regular pillar.
Yeah, like stuck under it.
And they have no idea how he got there. And they can't move him because if they do, that pillar is integral to the foundation of the house. If he moves, the house falls. And so he's just like, just leave me here to die. I'll support the house. And they do.
They do.
There's just skeleton there.
And they're just the story. The story ends, and it's just like they don't know how he got under there. It's like what?
3 pages.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I just flipped another page. I want to mention the story about there's a woman who men who are attracted to her don't see her. So when she gets to a certain point, like she becomes invisible to them. Okay, so you figure out later on there's a whole like reason, and there's like a creepy surgery element. It's all crazy. And I forgot this part of the book, but like there's one lone color panel that shows you like the eye, and there's a whole reason to it. I just thought that was so well done. I've also never seen anything like that in like a black and white book.
Yeah. Well, I love that story too because it feels like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Because you see that like all these men who spend time with this woman, like, because they're all in like a UFO club together, and they're like, something's going on with this, and some of them start to see her, and some of them start to see her less and less. They're like, hey, no matter how close or far away from him, I'm starting to not even be able to perceive you. And all the men are like, oh, I can't see her either, but they have seen her before.
Yeah.
And it just makes them even more obsessed with her. And it's just interesting because, eventually if something, of course, bad happens, right? But you can't perceive this woman. It's just wild. There's one with a crazy tongue.
Oh, I just flipped to it. I wanted to show the crazy tongue woman. She goes around licking people and they die. I mean, that's the story, guys.
Yeah, and you've got creepy dolls. Well, also about the tongue lady. You get those beautiful color pages at the beginning again.
Oh, yeah.
Look how nasty this tongue is.
Yeah, so even the cover, the licking woman here.
Oh, I love
so
her.
Good.
She's almost as creepy as the creepy model woman that you meet. Is it in Tomie?
Yeah, that reminded me of. I thought it was maybe the same person
I did
because she's
too
just
at
as
first.
creepy.
And because that woman keeps coming back and shows up in different stories, and I love her
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, I know. It's horrifying.
Let me catch up on comments really quick. Lloyd says, episodes all need to start out on a tangent. We need to know what's going on until it's last. Oh, Lloyd.
Thanks, Lloyd. You get us.
Rambles. Droopy said, hello, Kristan sure is making me think of Spike and Buffy's first date.
That's fair.
Does Spike wear a Ramon shirt? That sounds like him.
He probably likes them.
Eric Ramirez says, Nijigahara is not a good book for beginners trying to get into Asano. I agree. I recommend Pun Pun or Solonen. May have smelled it wrong. Yeah, because the only Asano I think I've read is Oyasumi Pun Pun, and I never finished it either. But I remember reading it when it was first coming out.
Mm-hmm. I read that first volume. I haven't read the rest. I read Solonen. I thought that was fine. I was not blown away by it, but it's fine. And A Girl on the Shore, I despised.
Oh, wow.
Bought that, threw that at Second and Charles. It's like, you guys can have it forever. So
I would like to read more Yasumi Pun Pun. Also because those books look so nice together.
Yeah, we got them all like extremely discounted. I'm looking at them on my shelf. They're very nice on a shelf. So I would read that with you if we want to try again.
And Eric also says that Pillar Story is also in Gyo. Well, that's great because I'm reading Gyo on Tuesday for Old Reader, New Reader. So.
Nice. Yeah, there's some overlap in this because the Enigma Fault one, that's also in another book, which I love that one too, with like the human-shaped holes in the cliff.
Oh, that was so good.
So good.
Well, because that's another example of stories that he writes where, humans are drawn to a certain weird thing and they can't stop themselves. Even though they know it's not going to be good, because those holes are like, this hole is shaped like me, it's meant for me. And you go in there and get stuck.
Yeah, it's so creepy. I mean, just that sight. As I was reading that, I'm just thinking about doing that myself is horrifying. Gosh. Yeah, I'm like,
we have a lot of caves in our state. So I just think about so many like caves like that. Knowing you didn't like Ito's version of No Longer Human, how do you feel about the prose of other versions? Do you mean of like other versions of No Longer Human?
I read the manga adaptation from Vertical, the one before Ito. I hated that one. So at this point, I'm 2 and 2. I'm definitely never going to read the prose. It's not happening.
Yeah. I think it's the content of that story for me, first and foremost.
Yeah, 100%. It's way too rapey. Let's say it. It's far too rapey.
It's pretty rapey. Ugh. And the guy's so into himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never really got into him and his story, really. Or felt for him, either.
No, there's no way to feel for him. And it's not even like, to me, it wasn't even like an interesting character study of like a sociopath or something. I was just like, I hate everything about this.
You and I both.
Yeah.
We could super get into that.
True crime forever,
I love Dexter. I love You.
Yes. Yes. You, so good. I miss that show.
Oh, I know.
Waiting for that to come back. But yeah, no, this wasn't it for us.
So I'll just reiterate that I think that this book is a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved every bit of this.
I agree. It was great.
Fun.
Yep.
And like Kristan said, it's like going home. It's like a warm hug.
Yeah. I'd say if you've never read an Ito, this is a nice starter package, especially with the overlap that, we had seen some of the other stories. It's a good kind of best of. Yeah, and you see a lot of the art in the beginning, and that introduces you to how his style is, and all the color pages are very well done.
Yeah, it's a perfect first taste because I love these, but also like, things like Tomie and Uzumaki can seem like a bigger undertaking to go through because that is a more consistent story, at least theme. But with this, you can kind of dip your toes in the water and see how you feel about Ito. I'm a huge fan, but just we'll dip your toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not that long. Mm-mm. It's a quick read.
But yeah, please pick it up. Man, I almost want to read again already. I never feel
about
anything else, but Ito books, they're just so much fun.
So weird.
They should not be.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he's getting his due here in America, finally. Like, The fact that you can get Junji Ito stuff in stores everywhere is wild.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I was just a second at Charles, and there was like an Ito mug, and I was like, I need this. How is this a thing that I can buy in a store? Like,
yeah, I mean, I see tons of regular people just wearing Ito shirts. Like, my niece does too.
Oh, that's weird. It's so weird.
I know. So, the second book we read, neither of us have a physical copy. I read it on Comixology Unlimited. Niji Gahara, Holograph by Asano. So, this is a self-contained story. It's a one and done. And it's a bunch of, like, it's a lot of present past kind of going back and forth with the stories. There's some, but I mean, it's like laid out for you, kind of where it's at. And it follows primarily these, like, 3 or 4 students that were in elementary school together, and also them in later life. And they're kind of drawn together by this supposed, not only death, but comatose of this one girl who was attacked. Or, like, fell down a hole or whatever. So they're tied with that, and there's, like, imagery of butterflies everywhere and stuff. Now, that's my really bad...
No, that's good. It's better than I would have done.
Summary of that. So, I love Asano's artwork a lot. And so that usually makes me interested, because I really liked Poon Poon. But this book...
Yes, that face.
I'll go with my bigger complaint of it first. I felt like the storytelling overall was a little disjointed. I don't feel like it was easy to follow. And I don't think that's a lack of my intelligence or lack of trying. I don't think the flow was very good. That, first and foremost.
I agree.
And you
Which
had
it didn't help.
Characters that were very similar.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Distinguished from one another. And I tried. But they just looked a little too similar, both when a little less when they were kids, but definitely as adults. There's 3 different characters. One happens to have glasses, but I don't know for sure that he's not one of the other 2.
I'm with you.
Because there are all these older men, not older men, but, like, 20s maybe, men with black hair that are all involved with this girl that you see the most. And so I can't really tell who is who there. And then there's the whole, creepy boners and rape deal. So...
Yeah.
A lot of boners.
Like, too many.
I'm not against boners. But, like, they were never just normal boners. They were creepy boners.
Can we just talk about
me on this show?
Can we just talk about the one that freaked us royally out together? Which
so
was...
early on.
This dad is like... he's in the police force, right? He goes to scene of a woman who's murdered, and he's like, oh, that's my ex-wife. Just also real casual. Like, I never got over that. He's like, yeah, I had a kid with her ex-wife.
Like 6 years ago. She married some other dude. Went missing a year ago.
Yeah.
MBD.
Yeah, yeah, totally. That's her.
Okay.
And they're like, really? And he's like, yeah, no big deal. Okay. So then he comes home to his very young child. This girl.
I already heard that. Oh, hey, I heard they found my mom. She's dead. He's like...
Yeah, also real casual. Everybody's real casual about this dead. Right. Yeah, she's like, is that true? And he's like, yeah, it's true. Okay. But when he's telling her that it's true, there's a weird shot of his pants.
Pops a big old boner. And it's drawn really weird, too. Because I was telling Kristan, I kept going back to the shot of it because it looked like it was 2 boners, because 2 points. And I was like, what is happening?
There's nothing that made sense about it.
And then some kid showed up, and then the dad looked creepy. So I assumed something happened.
Yeah.
I don't remember which kid it was. It was just weird. Like, why?
Yeah. And just when you thought there wasn't going to be more rape, there's more rape. In fact, a brother rapes his sister. Remember that? That That was the thing that happened. And also she was very young, I believe, and it was extra creepy.
That's the thing, right? Because, like, it's all kind of centered around this girl that we don't see from the majority. We just see her as this sort of, like, young, long-haired, white dress, very, like, young porcelain girl. And it really made me uncomfortable because a lot of the sexual stuff was directed towards her.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt very Lolita. And it was really gross. Mm-hmm. And it didn't seem to add to the story. It just felt gross and was there. And I was like, oh, God. What was the point? It just felt weird.
Yeah, it was all weird. I do want to point out, we both went into this blind.
Oh, yeah, because I wanted to read it.
We've heard of the writer, of course, and I've actually checked out the Goodreads reviews since. Because I was like, how can people rate this highly? And a lot of people have. They think it's a masterpiece. And I'm just like, what's happening here? Is this one of those things people just say stuff?
Sorry. And also, sorry, Lloyd. I know.
We don't want to be talking about this. But we read this garbage book. And
I just... yeah, I didn't like it.
I hated it.
I have a pretty high tolerance and high understanding for manga because I'm expecting a different culture comparatively. I've watched a lot of just really creepy Japanese horror films that I love, but have themes in it that I would not excuse. Like, Suicide Club is one of my favorite Japanese horror movies. It is very problematic. God, this is gross. You know? Yeah, going into Asano book blind is deadly, and we did.
Yeah. Although, what would the description have said? You know what? I'm going to see what it says in Comixology. Because there's, like, no way they're like, hey, what up? You're going to experience some weird butterfly imagery and a lot of rape. Like,
people seem to use rape as a theme in too much in comics and manga. Yeah, no, that's true. And a lot of media, everywhere.
Yeah.
You're right, I do tend to see a lot more in manga and anime. Some of that, I don't excuse it, but there's always the timing, right? You know? And some things I'm like, okay, I see where this is part of what's the narrative going on. This was not. It just felt gross, and I had no idea why anything was there or why anything happened. It didn't make any sense for anything ever.
I felt like a lot of it, too, was, and I think I've noticed this before in Asano books, was it really did feel like they were trying to be too deep. Like, you know, like, oh, this is deep and artsy, and you may not get it, but, like, it's good. And I think maybe
like
some people
me would have read this and be like, yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah,
this is like,
butterflies and stuff.
Yeah, but now as an adult, I'm like, no, I don't really think you knew what you were going for here.
Yeah, and even the description, it just says butterflies are proliferating in the town. There's a rumor of a mysterious creature lurking in the tunnel.
And there's not even a mysterious creature in the tunnel.
There isn't. Like, I would have read this and been like...
spoilers for you guys, but there's no mysterious creature in the tunnel.
Yeah, there isn't. Like, I feel like even if we would have read this description, we would have been like, cool, this sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds
it's not
like
even like
an Ito thing.
Yeah. Guys, it's not. No. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Unless you want to have a bad time. I really, like, was cringing every page turn. And I was so happy I didn't buy it.
Yeah, me too. Because I was thinking about it.
Oh, and it's a nice big hardcover. Like, I've seen it. It's nice, but
yeah, it's just a
glad I never bought that.
Not that I vehemently hated it either. I just felt like it was disjointed and didn't know what it was.
Oh, I hated it.
I think there's a lot in there that was unnecessary.
I totally hated it. I hated every minute of reading this book.
Oh, you just missed me. I said boners like 10 times.
You'll have to go back. Watch that.
Yeah, so, my recommendation is not to read it. Just go read more Ito books, except for No Longer Human.
100%.
I
agree.
All the Ito except for No Longer Human.
Yes.
Or you know what? If you want horror, go read Kurosaki Corpse Delivery Service.
Yeah, do that.
That's his
That's
body
a good one.
and crazy imagery and, sick people so well.
Yeah. And I just talked about this last time. High-rise invasion. Guys, there's people in masks killing each other. Guys, that's better. That's way better.
I can't wait to read High-Rise Invasion. Something about how into High-Rise Invasion you are makes me love it more.
It's weird. It's weird. Because I swear, I was just like, this was cheap. I'll try this. And now I'm like, I'm so into this. There's masks. There's different kinds of masks. And there's different people. And then there's groups of teams. And then there's like, yeah, it's a lot.
that makes me want to recommend to you. Maybe people in the chat have read it too, but I really like the manga Liar Game. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I haven't.
But oh gosh, it's so good. It's so crazy. It can feel Death Note adjacent in the way that you have like a genius person there who's gonna find some like crazy way to solve the problem at hand. But Liar Game, it's centered around this main character who's incredibly gullible. Just so gullible. And because of that, she's ended up in such great debt. And they bring her into this game called the Liar Game, where you like, she finds all this money on her porch, on her door, and like, hey, now you're in a game, everybody can steal from each other, you've got to get out here as the winner and have this much money to leave, or whatever. And she's like, okay, and she goes into this game that has several stages, but she's gullible, so people are like trying to trick her the whole time. And luckily there's like a genius guy that helps her, but all the situations are crazy. Everything everybody does is just wild, and they all have crazy expressions. You would love it.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah.
Man, I'm in a manga mood now. I want to read more manga.
I know. What manga should we read next, guys?
That's
what I want to know.
What's something free to read?
You know, I keep hearing about Chainsaw Man.
We should read Chainsaw Man.
We should read it.
It looks like something I would like.
It looks over the top, and I'm into it.
A book that people can universally love that's from Asano is Pun Pun. It's a slow burn and weird that has a masterful story. It does get heavy, but it has purpose to it. I agree from what I've read, and I do want to read the rest of Pun Pun.
I did too.
Because I thought
even though I'm sure it'll be
that felt real.
Oh yeah, real upsetting, but real.
Yeah,
I've had it sitting there because I'm like, I need to be in the right mood for this. Like,
yeah. Hideout by Masasumi Kakizaki. What is this?
He says trust.
I mean, love that.
You probably trust him.
My husband has recommended me a book that I've not heard about. It's a psychological horror manga. Okay. What's it about, though? Yeah,
tell us more, Elliot.
Okay, I have the plot here. Sorry, my nose is... I'm almost about to sneeze every 5 seconds because of allergies. On a supposedly idyllic vacation island, this man and his wife are pinned down by heavy rain somewhere in the island's interior, but this does not defer him. His decision is clear. Tonight he will kill his wife. Whoa.
Wow.
So, like, he was really happy and things have just, like, gone a weird turn for him. And so, gonna kill his wife. That sounds great, Elliot.
Yeah. Where can we read this? We should do it. We'll look it up.
It was on a list of good horror manga. I hope it's okay. Oh, so you haven't read it. I accept it,
That's
though.
good.
That's fine.
I'm
down to read Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, so Chainsaw Man looks crazy. There's one called Hard Boiled Cop and Dolphin.
That sounds great.
That sounds like we should read that. Yeah, I always forget, like, we both have this app. Like, we could read more from this together. We
really should. We should do, like, one a month or something.
We should.
I did start watching Promised Neverland, so I'd be down to read the rest of it.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's done now. It's just it's just 181 chapters.
Yeah, that's all. Oh man, I didn't know Blue Flag was on here. Okay, so I mentioned Blue Flag last episode. I've read 2 volumes now. Maddie, it's so good, and you'll love it. Like, really. Oh, I didn't know it was on here. That's so exciting.
I've also really been wanting to read Golden Kamui. I've heard good things about that.
I don't know that. I'm looking for it.
It's on the list as I scroll through here to get inspiration for what we should read. Or a Claymore. You like ladies being strong ladies.
I've wanted to read that. Yeah, I always hear that's good. Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we've come to the part of the show where we didn't have enough time to talk about, or we had too much time to talk about the thing.
Yep.
And that's, that's how
it's time. You remember those questions you were thinking about earlier? Do you have any?
And I will say, our next show is going to be on the 23rd. I know it's kind of a weird schedule, so like next week we don't have any shows. But we'll be back on Friday the 23rd, talking about Black Magic and Ice Cream Man. I think we'll have a little more to talk about with those because those are a little longer. And I'm really excited to finally read Black Magic.
Oh, it's so good.
And I've heard Ice Cream Man is creepy.
It's crazy. Yeah, crazy.
I'm stoked. Oh my gosh. More like clayless. The worst. A good one and done manga is All You Need Is Kill.
I like that one. I have that. Yeah.
That sounds cool. Man, I'm in such a manga mood. This is great.
Yeah. That should be on the app. All You Need Is Kill. It's a jump title.
Oh, so that's the Edge of Tomorrow one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like that movie.
I never saw the movie, but I was like, that's
really
weird that
liked
it's
it.
based on, you know.
Yeah, and I don't like Tom Cruise.
I don't either. That's why I never saw it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, yeah, I probably should. I enjoyed the manga. Yeah, we could do that. Oh, yeah, we should just like put together some manga titles. They really, you know what they need to do though, and we've talked about this. Shoujo Beat. What are we doing? Why isn't there a Shoujo
God.
Beat app like this?
I wish, because then you just read all of Nana.
I'm in. I'm in. I'm very upset about it.
I know. One day. I donated all of my Shoujo Beat manga, like our Shoujo Beat magazines, to my old high school. I don't know if they still have it or not. Ugh,
That's fun.
best. Let's do like 2 manga next month. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? You're right.
Let's do like.
Who cares?
Let's just pick 2 manga from Shonen Jump and just read them all.
Yeah, I'm totally down.
I would like to read Promised Neverland. Is that doable for you? That's 181 chapters.
Yeah, because I've already read a chunk of it, so
Okay.
we can totally do that.
I feel like I can read manga way faster than I can read anything else.
As long as you don't run into that limit, right?
And I have.
Yeah, I've never ran into.
I was reading My Hero Academia, and I read 100 chapters in the day. They're like, no, you have to stop now. I was like, what?
You're like, oh,
excuse me.
this limit was made
still
for
going.
me. I see.
Oh, fine.
For people
Let's
like
do that
me.
and Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, okay. Let me write that down in this app before we totally both forget. Like, didn't we say we'd read something?
Yeah, write it down for November.
All right.
Speaking of November, I was been thinking about what to put on El Rio New Reader.
Oh yeah.
It turns out Secret 6 is on DC Universe. I can give you my login.
Oh,
so you can
good.
use it. I
Yeah.
think that for the Patreon vote, I might just have them choose between 3 different DC Gail Simone books.
That's a great idea.
And then we'll just have them vote and we'll choose. So, like, Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, or Secret 6.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Sounds good.
Well, I reckon we could just end the show early today. So we don't have anything else to talk about.
We could. I'm like looking around like, well, I did read Blue Flag earlier.
Okay.
And it really is so good. So all I knew about it was these teenagers, and I knew there was like some questioning of identities and like sexualities. So I just kind of got into their lives, and then right at the end of the first volume is where they hit you with it, and you're like, wait.
Let me just go and open up Black Flag or Blue Flag.
Blue Flag. And it was just so good. Like I kind of saw it coming, but I was like, oh, it's so good. And then I read the second volume, and I got to the end, and it was the same thing. Something happened where I'm like, oh no, I need the third, and I don't have the third. So I'm excited to see it on this app because it's like a Shonen Sunday title. So I didn't know if it would be on the Jump app, right? Because I think some of them aren't.
Yeah.
So that's
it's
exciting.
Weird what they have or don't have.
Yeah. So that's it's so good. I don't even know, 14 chapters. I'm not sure that's how many chapters are usually in a volume. I know it varies. You're like, don't ask me things.
I should know. I have no idea. I could pull up. No, I have no manga near me that's like that.
That's probably like 2 volumes. So that's weird because there's like 4 out. 4th is coming out soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. But that's something I read and I loved. I started the next Beastars. I'm enjoying it. Legoshi got a haircut. So he looks weird. Everyone's freaking out.
I was like, that's weird to think about.
Yeah. There's a whole thing that happened. But yeah, he looks like a baby now because he doesn't have the side hair.
Oh, weird.
It's weird. It's real weird. There's a reason, but it's weird. I also read Blood on the Tracks Volume 2. I told you about that one.
Yeah. How is that? Because everyone's talking about it.
Okay. So the first volume, it ends it and you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? This is crazy. And I can't tell you what it is really. I mean, I guess I could, but it is spoiling the whole volume. But the second one was also crazy, and I'm very interested in the story. And then one thing happened where I'm like, oh no. So it's a constant I'm creeped out by this mother constantly. So
okay.
I'm in. I'm totally in. I'm gonna get every volume from now on.
I want to read it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Remind me when I've I can buy things again.
Yeah, I totally will. Oh, we were talking about IST earlier. Should we do that again? Because I was bringing up the thing when we talked. Okay, so Blue Flag Volume 4 comes out Tuesday. So guys, I'm telling you, get Blue Flag. It's great. Buffy Volume 4 also is coming out. I'm waiting for the hardcover. But if you're not, you can get that. The new Avant-Gardes is coming out. I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh,
Let's see.
New Rose of Versailles, Volume 4. I bought 2 more volumes from Steven. They're on its way.
Oh, did you? That's great. Oh, we're going to have to read them.
About it now, 'cause I can
yes. Rose of Versailles won't be on ISD next week, but apparently it's coming out in stores. I'm looking at the list from the group.
Oh,
it's at the top of the page. Yeah,
just like the coming soon thing, which is
there's still the releases are still scattered around, so I never know what's real. Let's see. Oh, there was something else. War of Realms. People are freaking out about War of Realms. Yeah, I'm tempted. I'm quite tempted.
I would if I could.
I do have all the hardcovers. I'm like, I kind of have to, right? Oh, and Sneeze. The new Urasawa collection will be on IST next week. Oh,
are you picking it up?
I'm so excited. I have to. I think I have to.
Let me know if it's like a must-have, then I'll buy it later.
Definitely. I know it's like short, like the last one that we didn't necessarily love.
It was just fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
way better than Nijigahara Holograph.
Oh my gosh. By leaps and bounds, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say bounds too.
Oh. Yeah, I'll totally let you know how that is. But yeah, so the new TMNT is also coming out. People like that.
I mean, everybody says it's good.
Yeah, I do need to read it.
I don't have a huge connection.
I don't either, but I'm looking around because I know Reed has some of these hardcovers and they're very nice. They have the like ribbon, you know.
Yeah, that's why I am gonna wait unless Sneeze is really good. Then I have to get it.
Yeah, it's true.
Eric is right. The dude
it's
is like
very
the best
true.
Storytelling.
Yes, he sneezes at them.
Yeah. Man, I want to meet Urasawa. I was like, you're so cool.
Oh, how great would that be? How great would that be? So great.
Just Kristan, come visit me so we can just like have a little sleepover and watch all of 20th Century Boys.
I mean, I'm working this weekend, but that's why we don't have a show. Like, okay. Yeah, that would be great. We have to.
I'll even get tested first.
Yeah,
when if I'm safe.
It's hard. It's so hard.
I know. Well, guys, it's probably a good time to end it, only because I feel like I'm going to sneeze a bunch. It's just allergies, I promise. I cleaned the house.
It's because you mentioned sneeze.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's why.
So, thank you guys so much for hanging out. This was always so chill and fun. We'll be back on the 23rd is what I said.
Yes, that is what you said.
With Black Magic and Ice Cream Man. So that will be a Friday, so expect to see us around like 5 or 6.
Yeah, totally.
After work or whatever, just come hang out. Yeah, and I hope you guys have a good night. Stay safe, wear a mask, all that stuff.
And check out IST.
Yeah.
Get your books. Get your sneeze.
Bye, guys.